Hello, good morning, and welcome to another strategy from Winning Strategies for Government Contracts. And this is a tip as well as a strategy if you are trying to win government contracts. If you've never won a government contract, listen to this strategy for winning. Real talk, real strategies, real solutions. So today we're going to talk about how you can start winning government contracts if you've never won before. So what we're going to do here is start with, if you are looking to do government contracts and you're looking to, let me see if I can make this over a little bit, and you're looking to win large contracts, that's where writing a proposal and pricing is involved. Now, most of the time, pricing is involved in everything. If you don't have to write a proposal, pricing is still going to be involved in you doing government contracts. So let's take, for example, the government is looking for an HR firm, and the proposal, the solicitation looks like it's going to be a large one. And then you're thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to write this? And they're also requiring that you be a woman-owned small business. Okay, so if you got your certification, you meet that qualification. So then you start looking at the proposal and realizing that I might have to write a large proposal because the government is going to be looking for talented people for you to bring on board for HR services. And so the solicitation is requiring that you have past performance. They're requiring that you know how to deal with classification, staffing, and labor relations. So what you'll have to do is to write and respond to all of those requirements that the government is looking for. And say that the solicitation, while you're looking at it, it's going to be 5 years, and it's going to be over $1 million some dollars. So you're playing with the big boys, so you're going to have to be able to write that technical proposal so that you can be in the list of running for winning that government contract. So most of the time, a lot of small businesses don't win government contracts because, number one, they don't know how to respond to a solicitation. That's one thing. That's a huge problem. If you don't know how to write and respond to a solicitation, writing your technical response, you will not win. Because most of the time, the government looks at your technical response, meaning I'm going to look at and read how they're going to deliver the services to this government agency. If you don't respond well or it's not written well, the government will say, no, we're going to bypass them. However, if your response is within what they say, you have answered all of the questions that we have asked in the solicitation, then we're going to give you some points. And your points have to be a certain amount before they can even consider you being part of the contract. So, for example, you responding to the solicitation based on being in classification, staffing, and all that other stuff that goes along with it. And say, for example, they give you 75 points. Okay, so that might put you in the running. Once they look at your technical proposal, they're going to put that aside and say, you know what, now we need to see what the pricing is. And a lot of small businesses get caught up on the pricing because a lot of small businesses think that they could just price it any way they want. And the government is going to look at it and say, no, first of all, it's too high. Or first of all, most of the people that we're looking at in their pricing proposal have a certain range. So we're going to stick within that certain range. And they probably also have a budget that they are not going to go over. So you need to make sure that when you're writing and responding to a solicitation and responding to the technical report and responding to the pricing, you have to make sure that you're still within the boundaries of what the government is expecting. Now, you may not know, of course, I understand that. All the proposals that we've done over $1 million some, we don't know. But we do know that when you're pricing for the government or any government agency, you have to stay within a certain parameters. You can't overprice because then you won't win. Even though your technical proposal was good, if you overprice, they'll say no, because then that to them, they think you're gouging them and they will not want to award you a contract. However, if you are within the range of the pricing that they look at, and most of the respondents are also in the pricing range, you may have the opportunity to win. So your technical proposal has to be on point, as well as your pricing proposal has to be on point. So do I make myself clear? So if you are bidding on contracts that require you to write a technical proposal, you need to make sure that you can respond to the technical proposal, because if you don't, then they'll look and see that you are not responsive. They could tell that you are not an experienced business or technical proposal writer, and so they'll put your thing aside and they'll send you a letter saying you were not one of the awardees. So if you don't want that to happen, you need to make sure that you can write a technical proposal. Now, if you can't write a technical proposal, which most small businesses don't, because for me, that's not my area. So I have a proposal writer for me. And that's how we're winning our contracts, because I have a technical proposal writer. But for me, since it's my business, I do the pricing for my business. I make sure that I stay within the range that the government is looking for, and so that I can be able to win these contracts that we go out bidding for. So most of them, we don't win them all, but most of the contracts we do win, because my technical writer is very good. He's awesome. Wouldn't trade him away for nothing. And I'm also pricing it within the range that the government is looking for. So two things. You need to have a proposal writer if you can't write that stuff, and you need to know how to price. If you don't know how to price, you'll never win, and you'll be thinking, it didn't work for me. The government don't work for me. I never won anything. I don't know why. And it's because of those two things. Your technical proposal must answer what the government is looking for, and your pricing must also be within the range that the government is looking for. In addition to that, they may require you to be a small business, or they may require you to be a women-owned business, or they may require you to be a veteran-owned business. Whatever the certification is, then some requirements some of the requirements are you must send some documents, like some financial documents, because the government wants to make sure that you will be able to do the contract once you are awarded the contract. Yeah. So just because you win the contract, that doesn't mean that you will be able to do the contract. That's another thing. Because some small businesses will win the contract, then when it comes time to work the contract, they run out of money. Bad. That's very bad. You don't want that to happen to you, because then you'll have to pull away from the contract, and then the government may bar you for like 3 years. If you're barred, it's 3 years before you can get back on. Then you got to plead your case as to why you got to get back on, get back to being a government contractor. And so that's why when we launch our government launch pad, we're going to make sure you're government ready. We're going to check all the boxes to make sure that you're able to win the contract. Even if you don't win, we're going to make sure that you're government ready, so you won't have that problem much anymore in our government launch program, which we're going to be starting very soon. So if you are writing if you see a solicitation that is about 5 years and they are looking for you to respond to HR services and you cannot write a technical proposal, you need to get some help if you want to bid on that contract. If you can't bid on it, meaning if you don't know how to write a technical proposal, if you don't know how to price it, don't waste your time, because you'll get discouraged, you'll be upset, you'll be wondering why it's not working for you, because you can't do it alone. You really can't. Unless you've been in that arena doing it somewhere else, you really can't. I learned the hard way, but I figured it out. And then I became very successful winning these government contracts. And I love it. I really do. It took my business from non-existing to way up there. And so we only bid on millions and millions of dollars of contracts, because that's where we are at this point. And I want to get you to that point. It takes a little time. You got to get some past performance. You got to show the government that you know what you're doing. And you got to perform. You can't be sloshing off and all. You got to perform. And if you're not ready to perform, don't bid on it. Get you some help. And that's what winning strategies for government contracts is about. We can help you. First, we're going to make sure you're government ready before we send you out there and start working with you on winning these government contracts. We want to get you out there. And in order to do that, you have to enroll into our program, which we will start putting up very soon. But what I wanted to do is give you some tips. If you're trying to bid on contracts, you don't have any past performance, you don't know how to price it, and you don't know how to respond to the technical proposal, don't bother, because you'll never win. You just won't win. There was a young lady that called me and she said, I'm trying to bid on this thing. I got a few days. They asking for all these documents. And I said to her, do you have the documents? No. Then don't bother, because you have to have everything. You can't go halfway in and halfway out. You have to have everything, because you're playing up against experienced people. And I've been up against experienced people, but I have won, because guess what? I have the right person to respond to my technical proposal, and I know how to price. And we teach you all of that in the Government Launchpad, in winning strategies for government contracts. So each time I put a video out, each time I post, I always say, call us for a free strategy if you need some questions. If you have some questions that you need to answer, nobody's going to be on the phone but you or me or one of my technical support people. If you're serious, if you're ready to go, if you already tried doing that stuff. But we're going to help you here in the Government Launchpad in winning strategies for government contracts. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So if you don't have a good technical writer and you don't know how to price, don't bother, because you'll be wasting your time. You'll get discouraged. You'll be upset. You'll be everything, calling the government everything that you can think of, because you are not government ready. And you'll also need to make sure that you have funding, and we're going to help you with that as well. So you won't have to worry about, can I pay my employees? Can I meet their every week or every 2 weeks deadline to pay my employees? You can't get a government contract and you don't have the funding. That's another thing I will talk about. You have to have funding to get this done, especially if you have to have employees. Now, if you're probably working on your own or just doing a consulting contract, then it's you can get paid whenever they pay you. But if you're going to have it where you have to have employees, the employees are going to be looking to get paid on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks, however you set your business up. I usually pay my employees every week because we have the funding to do that. And then our launch pad will teach you and show you and give you some resources so that you can do the same thing. So you won't have to worry about how am I going to pay my employees if the solicitation requires that you have employees. So I just want to come on here and tell you, I get so many questions about this. Why am I not winning? I wrote the proposal, I priced it, and I'm still not winning. You're not winning because your technical proposal didn't meet their requirements. You're not winning because your pricing proposal was too pricey. So you have to stay within a certain range. What is that range? We talk about that in the government launch pad. So think about that. If you can't write a technical proposal, don't try it. I tried that. It didn't work for me, so I got somebody. He's a great technical proposal writer. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be where I am. Especially, and because I know how to price. I mean, me too. You know, I got some good stuff with me as well. But it was him. It was writing the technical proposal is what did it for us. And it could do it for you. You just have to make the decision whether or not you want help or you actually want to start to win government contracts. And like I said, we don't win them all, but we have won enough. And we will continue to win. I don't expect to win all of them. I do expect to win some. And I always tell people, stay in your lane. And that's what I've done. Stayed in my lane. Can't get out of it, because once I get out of it, I'll go down the tubes. And that's what I don't do. Stay in your lane. So, if you have some questions about this short video, schedule your strategy call. We'll be happy to talk to you about it. It's free. I don't see the problem. You can talk to us. We'll ask you some questions, see how we can help you. But I want you to be successful. That's why I started this Facebook group. There are a lot of small businesses that have given up because they didn't understand what they were supposed to do. And that's why I wanted to kind of work that out with a lot of small businesses. If they haven't completely given up, if they're on the binge of getting given up, I want to help you. Because you can be my success story, along with a few others. But my success story is that I am a winning government business. I enjoy it. And here's the good thing about it. It is consistent income. Every month I get to bill 5, 6, or 7 figures, whatever it is, based on what I'm doing at the time. I get to bill every month. Don't have to worry about whether or not they're going to pay me or I got to chase another client. Nah. My contract is for 5 years. And for 5 years, I bill every month. For 5 years, I get paid. So, I'm looking forward to working with you and hope to see you soon because we're going to be starting the government launch pad. It's going to be a beta. That means that we're going to mark the price down, half price, so that we can have about 8 to 10 businesses as case studies so we can find out what's going on with them, what they're doing wrong, how we can help them. And in this program, we're going to launch you. That's why it's called the government launch pad. We're going to try to launch you so that you can start winning some government contracts. That's my whole thing. This is what I am here to do. And the thing about it is you won't have to worry about the stuff that I went through trying to do this stuff, like networking events. That didn't work. They're useless most of the time. And a lot of people say you have to establish a relationship with the government. And well, if the contracts are like really huge, I would say so. But the contracts that aren't huge, you don't.